All right, in this problem here, we want to simplify this expression. We're dealing with a whole bunch of exponent rules, and I want to work from the inside of this quantity out. So first off, what I want to do is I want to take my x to the negative first power. Let's make that 1 over x. And let's take this y to the negative first and make it 1 over y. And all that is raised to the negative second power. So I've simplified everything on the inside, can't do anything with that. Now what I'd like to do is handle this negative exponent. So now I can move that to my denominator, making that 1 over x plus 1 over y squared. Now notice this is still the whole quantity that's being squared here. So I can't just distribute that 2 in there since I'm adding these things together. Let's see, but now what I have going on here is I have this complex fraction. So I have this bigger fraction with this big fraction bar, and then inside of my denominator I've got other fractions. Well, I don't like that, so let's simplify this denominator by getting a common denominator in these little tiny fractions. So let's say I'll multiply this guy by a y over y, and this one by an x over x. Now once I've done that, I still have my 1 over, and I still have this quantity that's being squared, but now I should have a y over xy plus x over xy. I've got a common denominator, so I can combine my like terms, or rather add those fractions. So we have a y plus x over xy, all of that to the second power. And now here's what I'm going to do. This is still a fraction that I don't really like to, or a complex fraction that I still don't really like. So what I'm going to do is I can represent this whole quantity as I can split it up into a numerator squared and a denominator squared. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to keep the 1 over here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, that's y plus x squared over xy squared. That's the same thing. So this is that quotient rule. So the whole quantity, or the quotient squared, is the same thing as the numerator squared divided by the denominator squared. And now what I have here is I have like this 1 divided by this fraction, or let's go red here. I have that 1 from the top being divided by this fraction, y plus x squared over xy squared. And remember, when you're dividing fractions, you can change this division into multiplication and then take the reciprocal of this guy. So what that means is I'm going to have, let's go up a little bit more. I'm going to have 1 times the reciprocal of this fraction, xy squared over the quantity x plus y squared. And really at this point, I can't really do much more. 1 times this is just this. And maybe to keep things the most simplified, since all of this is being squared, another way of writing this, I suppose, would be to say xy over the quantity x plus y. Hold on, let me get rid of these parentheses, actually. Oh, too much. Let me try that again. I could say xy over x plus y, that entire quotient, that entire quantity squared. That's also good too. Either or is good. And you could also go even one step further. I'd say there's lots of acceptable solutions to this. And you could, if you wanted, let me bring this down a bit further, you could push that exponent through. And a third option would be x squared y squared over, and if I square this quantity, I get x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. I would say all of these are acceptable solutions because they're all simple or simplified. I can't cancel anything else out, and I think that'll do it.